Hello. So this video is for Ascendant in Taurus. Take a look on your natal chart, figure out where your Ascendant falls, track down that sign, and I recommend finding that video to watch. Watching this video if your Sun is in Taurus obviously may help a little bit more. It has more to do with, I guess, how if your Sun is actually in Taurus, how your sign and that energy of your Sun may be affected right now. But since this is in transits, this is mostly just so that your transit information is accurate. I would recommend finding what your ascendant sign falls in, and that way your transit information will be a lot more accurate. So, going with ascendant in Taurus, I'm going to cover, first of all, we have the Sun right now is, I'm going to move this back just real quick. The Sun is in Scorpio, and it's sextile Pluto, which is fallen in Capricorn right now. There's going to be a lot of transformations in kind of how you're really going after the things that you want, your awareness of what's keeping you from getting there, maybe having issues with, I don't know, I guess delays and blockages or things like that in that area of your life. But since Taurus Ascendant, that would be your first house, has changed for that. This is going to be covering your 7th house and your 9th house. So that's basically covering your partnerships, maybe having you take a look at what your weaknesses in your partnerships are, maybe through communication or mutual kind of balance. It may bring up discussion that fuels a deeper intimacy and growth in the relationship, though. So change won't be that bad. It may be difficult arriving there, the conversations may be stressful, but ultimately this is a push towards greater intimacy in your partnerships. Now, Pluto has been pushing for some change since it moved into Capricorn. So this is kind of like added awareness, added investigative power, really helping you to uncover how to transmute the baggage that you may have from past relationships into new perspectives about love in your partnerships, healing, moving past old patterns and things that maybe constantly caused you problems in your relationships. Now they're getting unpacked. Now they're getting really talked about and figured out. Maybe new understandings about who you really are. Then next on the 15th, we have Mars, which is currently in Aquarius, sextile Uranus, which is in Aries. It's in retrograde in Aries, so it is going to be, there's a lot of unexpected things. It's not always necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes unexpected great things happen, unexpected, epiphanies and ideas and, stuff like that. This is going to be pushing things more into a personal corner, not into like a collaborative corner. But any solo projects, personal issues, advancements or improvements in the technology area in your life, any kind of electronics you might be using. This is kind of an echo because it's in retrograde. It's echoing when when Uranus was in Aries a few months ago at the beginning of the year. It was in that sign for a while since it's an outer planet. So Mars and Aquarius in this position may put you at odds with the more traditional perspectives, the plans that you might have that are kind of very traditional, and the people in your life that are also very traditional. Uranus also wants to shake up old ways of doing things that won't really fly with what you're doing right now or in the future. So this is going to be kind of a call to action to really make a lot of changes in terms of shaking up traditional structures in your life. Now, this isn't always necessarily about authority figures, although it can be, especially ones that are very conservative or very traditional. If they have an authority in your life, this may be causing some resistance and some tension. For November 15th, we have Mars switching over to the sign of Pisces, which means there's going to be some focus on, I guess you could say, sacrificing things for the whole community. personal sacrifice for, the movement and progress of like the people that you're connected with, the community, your spirit family, I guess you could say. With your Ascendant in Taurus, your 11th house, it's going to be boosting you to be more compassionate and really relating like really hard to the struggles of other people, picking up on themes of like the underdog, the martyr, that sort of stuff. You may have a big drive to get out and socialize, but you'll end up being that listener, that kind of like shoulder to cry on kind of person, because you're feeling like really helping out in your community in that way. Now, for November 16th, we have Venus going direct in Libra. It's been in Libra for a while at the beginning, but now it's going direct. So we're going to see a lot more clarity. With it in retrograde, there was probably a lot, kind of like a feeling of imbalance or communication problems, especially in partnerships. But for a Taurus ascendant, this is going to be making you feel more domestic, maybe aesthetically improving your home situation, cooking fancy food or rearranging the layout so that things are more comfortable at home. Tensions in your partnerships are going to be getting relief because people are just going to be feeling like you're really helpful and accommodating with like everyday kind of tasks. The 6th house really represents, maintenance, anything that you are constantly maintaining on a daily basis. This could be obviously household chores and stuff, but also hygiene, health, that sort of thing. For November 16th, Mercury retrograde is going to be in Sagittarius. This is kind of like the higher learning, wisdom, travel, long distance kind of travel. My recommendation would be creative writing if you're into any kind of career or passion where it involves writing or sharing wisdom or anything like that. This is probably a good time to do creative writing or any kind of form of expression that requires you to do it more academically and really look at how you argue and how you propose, your ideas, so that it'll help you really take a look at areas or weaknesses in your communication, because Mercury retrograde is so related to articulation of ideas and communication. For an ascendant in Taurus, this is in your 8th house. So the challenge here is to focus on more self-improvement, to reach a greater level of intimacy in your relationships or general partnerships, any kind of contracts, that sort of thing. Consider paying off old bills, avoid borrowing money or entering into new situations where you're borrowing money. Balance out your checkbooks, any kind of investments, etc. And you want to focus on really tactfully and responsibly sharing your thoughts about physical intimacy problems in relationships, because this tends to deal with things that are normally taboo or kind of like secretive or not really discussed in public. So this is probably a good time to talk about that if you're in a long-term partnership where you feel like maybe the physical intimacy could be improved. This is a good time to discuss that. Obviously, like I said, tactfully though, carefully. And that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple of cards just for the week to see if there's any messages from Spirit about just how to handle these couple of transits. The crow. That's funny. Crow came up in my last reading. Okay, so universal law. The shadow self, shape-shifting, the void. The buffalo also is talking about abundance. So I feel like this is saying your prayers have been heard if you've been visualizing or manifesting things. Even though Mercury retrograde is coming, once it hits, you definitely don't want to start anything new. So maybe this is saying something is coming in, kind of before Mercury retrograde hits, some kind of wave that you're going to ride, a prayer that's getting answered. And if it doesn't happen, don't worry about it. A lot of times people worry about Mercury retrograde because, all these things go wrong. But a lot of times it's great for actually reapproaching areas of your life that you haven't been able to fix before. You started an idea of how to do it, but for some reason the plan didn't work. So now you're coming up with a new way of addressing the same problem. Those areas in your life get really tuned up during Mercury retrograde. So I honestly really like it. Interesting. Okay. I barely get the 7 in the major arcana in the Cathar Tarot, so this is really interesting. Yeah, maybe this is talking about extravagance, maybe being overwhelmed energetically with, wisdom or knowledge. I want to say almost, I guess you could say it's kind of like somebody who is really helpful and wise, but kind of like overdoes it. Maybe this is saying to be careful in your communications. Once again, with Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, this is a time where people are going to feel like all of a sudden they just want to share their opinions about everything, and like they're trying to help you, but honestly, for some reason, it comes across the wrong way. So just be careful with sharing, kind of what you're really passionate about. Sometimes when you do that and you're like really excited and you really have the greatest intentions, but it's just not a good time for some reason to do that. For Ascension, I see this is about working on emotions, working on your willpower. Maybe this is something to consider letting go of like everyday issues that you've been really troubled by lately, that this is going to be pushing you to look at like more internal energetic power, your ability to really consider like where do I want to go with things in the moment. Sometimes we can get caught up thinking like, okay, like I had this setback and now I'm gonna like lose it. I'm gonna get distracted with problems. I'm gonna get distracted with tension or with arguments or with this person who's attacking me or whatever. Really focus on, I guess you could say, this boundary that is you, inside your boundaries. Like, you have the ability to know yourself, and when other people are distracting you or when external environments come in like an aggressive way and make you think or rethink like, man, who am I feel just really challenged by this problem. It can make you feel like you've lost your energy or like it scatters your energy. So this is, I think, just saying really focus this week on really containing your energy and really being conservative with it. Keeping track of where you spend time thinking and where you spend time worrying about things. Really, really focus on that. And this is going to help you to really transcend a lot of issues that normally would really drive you crazy. And once again, universal truths, universal law. Where is all your energy coming from? Where is it going? And that's really going to help you push through this week without, losing the cool, without feeling like you lost momentum. Just really be patient with yourself. Recognize, like I said, where your energy is going. This will really help you move through the week. So I hope that helps. Like I said, check out your ascendant sign and also your sun sign. If your sun sign falls in a different sign, try and go ahead and check out that video as well. I'm sure it'll offer you some insights just in general for the week. And otherwise, if you like what you're hearing, hit the like button, comment, and just share, what's going on with you. I'd love to hear from you guys. And as well, hit the subscribe button if you want to catch more updates for next week. Now that I've got the system here, it should be coming a little bit earlier. Shouldn't be so much, on the dot when the transits are actually happening. I was trying to get it done sooner, but, stuff happens. So subscribe, hit the bell if you want to get notified whenever I post something new. I'm going to be adding also a lot of this information I'm going to be mirroring and doubling over onto an Instagram profile, which I have not yet set up completely. I'm still working on the name, but I'll be putting that up soon. I feel like it's going to be really nice visually. And that way it's a lot quicker. You won't have to watch like a 15-20 minute video if you just want some transit information. Obviously, I still want to provide this, so this is still going to be coming every week, but it might be easier for people who are pressed on time to check it out on Instagram. So anyways, have a good week. Peace.